Basically, you're coming out from the other part of the world, and you're coming to another continent, to the east side, and yet you're receiving such a good response. Honestly, did you expect this in this part of the world?
It's not really that much of a surprise because we've always had a great response in the Czech Republic, and it seems like the further east we go in Europe, the more people are hungry for this kind of music. So, and plus we had been told, you know, that there was a lot of fans in Romania and Hungary and in this region. So we knew it was going to be good. We didn't know it was going to be this good.
And I think it's not a secret that your music is more well received in Europe than the US. I mean, judging from the fact that in the US this kind of music isn't so much promoted as the new scene. I mean, the whole hardcore metalcore scene. Your music is more focused to the European side. Do you think that, let's say, if the band was born in a country in Europe, it would have a different pattern, not from the music, but for the whole to be known?
Well, it's really hard to say. I mean, when we started, the majority of bands that sounded like us were from Europe. So it's possible that we could have just got lost in the sea of endless similar sounding bands, whereas in the States, you know, 96, 97 when we started, it was very unheard of to have this type of sort of, I don't know, European-esque influenced dark metal. And I mean, for the first probably 5 years, people thought we were from Europe. You know, they thought we were from Finland or something. But you know, geography really doesn't matter as long as you have the spirit to play this kind of music.
And you're working, I don't know, hard on the new record, which is pretty much expected, but basically people don't know much about it.
Our hype machine is broken right now. No, I mean we're not a band that really likes to talk a lot. You know, we don't really. If we don't have very, very important news, we're not going to say anything. We prefer to just sort of dwell in the shadows and do our thing at a very quiet, slow pace, you know, because we got other things going on in our lives. We're not just constantly working on a new record. We'll work on it for maybe a month, and then we'll not work on it for a month, and you know, it's bit by bit. But the whole next record is finished. I need to finish some lyrics, which I'll probably write this week when I'm on vacation in Romania. But other than that, I mean, we're ready to record it more or less, and hopefully we will start recording when Aesop gets back from his tour with Ludicra, which is going to be like May, June, you know, so everything done, and I've already started the layout, you know, for the record, so when it is finished, we can just send it straight to the label, and hopefully it will get released as soon as possible.
And in your opinion, I mean, is it really hard to put the studio records to the live session? I mean, basically the songs are very complex. It's rather hard to put in the live set.
Oh yeah, I mean, if we don't have perfect sound on stage, it's a disaster. You know, like tonight was kind of one of those nights where we didn't have very good sound on stage, and so we decided, well, fuck it, we'll put our heart and soul into it and just let that guide the way. And I think people react very positively to that kind of attitude. You know, it doesn't necessarily matter, you know, if you're hitting all the right notes, as long as you're hitting people where it counts, you know.
And you also are a graphic designer. Basically, you earn your living from that?
I'm a freelance designer. I don't really earn a constant living from it, but it's a nice perk, you know, money here and there. And I don't know if many people know that I do design. I mainly do design for Agalloch and other related projects, but You know, I'm generally too busy to really do a full-time design job or whatever. You know, I'm very selective, and generally it's my own related projects that I'm doing design for. But I did do the design for Kagayan on issue 10, and which is one of the reasons why I'm here in Romania. You know, it was my payment was, you know, show me a good time in Romania, and that's what he's going to do this week. So it's going to be pretty cool, I think.
And in this aspect, did you have any inspirations with, I mean, painters or design or anything like that?
As far as designers who influence me? Yeah, there's a few. I really like, you know, some of Sheldon Hunt's work. I like some of Stephen O'Malley's work. You know, I see stuff here and there that inspires me. A lot of older sort of Dutch painters and things like that. But as far as like graphic designers in general, I tend to just kind of stick to my own, you know. I've had influences when I first began designing, like O'Malley and some other people like that. But you know, I try to find my own sort of aesthetic and style, and so I try to sort of stay away from trying to be too influenced by others, you know.
And one last question regarding your lyrics. They're actually very profound. Every song has a meaning of its own. I want to ask, how do you see the world right now in this moment, in general? I mean, with all the problems and...
Life goes on. You know, I mean, what can you say? It always seems like every day gets worse and worse, and when I think back 10 years ago, I think, wow, you know, we didn't have this problem, we didn't have this problem, and then it makes me wonder, god damn, you know, in 10 years, what's it going to be like? And it just seems like the world is just sort of spiraling into a catastrophic mess, and you just have to find your way through it and find your own sort of pleasure and meaning that makes life worthwhile, because otherwise I would have just killed myself probably 10 years ago, you know. And that's one of the things that we really enjoy with Agalloch, is it gives us an opportunity to really have fantastic experiences, you know, like coming to Romania and playing in front of, you know, 700 maniacs and playing last night at, you know, this classical theater in Brasov. You know, we were the first metal band ever to play that place, and we sold it out. You know, and it's just like, wow, you know, that's incredible. Yeah, yeah. And I think that might also be a product of just the fact that we don't tour very often, because we can't. Just too many schedule conflicts with the members. But when we do bring it together, you know, we put our heart and soul into it, and we try to give the best possible performance we can, because we never know when we're going to do it again. You know, we never know when we'll be back in Romania again or anywhere else. And there's so many places in the world we'd like to see, as well as playing more places in the States, you know, because I feel like we've kind of neglected the U.S. But at the same time, it also depends on the offers we get. For every one okay offer we'll get in the States, we'll get 10 fantastic offers from Europe. So you have to prioritize, well, what's worth our time the most, you know, and what's going to give us the most interesting, profound experience, rather than just, you know, what's going to give us the most money. We don't really care about that. We just want to have a great experience and have it paid for, basically, and you know, give people a great show and yeah, see the world. The world that's crumbling down.